Okay, I'm doing a quick review of lateral and total surface area for your campus checkpoint on Thursday, and I'm going to go through this pretty quick. If you'd look and see, I've written out the steps that are going to help you do these problems better. Step 1, write down the formula. A lot of you like not doing that, and a lot of you are missing the problems because you're not writing it down. Just looking at it's not good enough. Write down the formula. Next step is to shade or draw the shape of the base and include the measurements with it. You can shade it, but drawing it is a little bit better if you ask me. Step 3, write down what you need to find or solve. The reason it says find is because some numbers you can just find, other numbers you have to actually solve. Step 4, well, then just find or solve them. And then step 5, as you saw in the videos we've done, is just to plug the numbers in the formula and to chug or work them out. So on all of these, I'm going to do total surface area, because from total surface area you can always look backwards and figure out what the lateral surface area was. So total surface area, again, first step, write down the formula. Since this is a prism, we're writing down pH plus 2b. Next, drawing the shape of the base. Well, I'm going to draw it right here, and look at my dimensions for the base. It's a 10 by 3. If you look up here, those dimensions are the same. So here's your 3, here's their 10. If you draw this and put the numbers around it, it will help you. Next, I'm going to write down the 3 things that I have to find. I have to find or solve the capital P, the H for height, and the area of the base, capital B. The first one and the easiest to find is the height. Well, it's right there. If I write that down, I don't have to solve it anymore. There it goes. Next, the perimeter of my base shape. That's why I wrote it down. I drew it. So 10 plus 3 gives me a perimeter of 26. Next step, finding the area for the shape. It's a rectangle, so base times height, which is 30. Once I find these numbers, I can just put them in the formula. 26 times 6, which are those two, plus the area of the base twice. And I just fill in my work. 156 plus 60 gives me a total surface area of 216. And if I was supposed to have done the lateral surface area, remember that's just this first half of the problem, so 156. Okay, and that was for a rectangular prism. Next one I'm going to do here is a triangular prism. Now the formula is the same. The only difference is our base now is a triangle. Even though it's sitting down here on one of these rectangles on the base, you have to remember that triangular prisms have bases that are triangles. That's why it's called a triangular prism. So I'm going to deal with my base shape, which looks like this. Since it says this is 5, I'm going to say that's 5 also. So 5, 5, and 6 with a height of the triangle of 4. I'm going to write down the 3 things I need to find. The first one is the one I can just find by looking. Well, from here to here, because that back triangle is back here, that is my height of the prism. So that's my H. I write that down and I'm done with it. The perimeter of my triangle is 5 plus 5 plus 6, which is 16. The tricky part is the area of this triangle. So I have to actually write down the area of a triangle formula. Base times height, so 6 times 4, 24 divided by 2, which is 12. Now I'm just going to put those numbers into the formula. 16 times 8 plus 2 times 12. Do a little math. 16 times 8, 128. 2 times 12, 24. And I get a total surface area of 152. Again, if the problem actually, if I look back at it and said lateral, well, that's that first half of the number, 128. So I've actually found both of them and just need to figure out which one they're asking me. Okay, next we have a cylinder. So again, I'm going to do total surface area. I'm going to write down my formula, not just try to do the math in my head. 2 pi radius height plus 2 pi radius squared. Again, I'm going to draw my base. It's a cylinder, so the base is the circle. It has a radius of 4. Now they could have written it like this and said that that diameter was 8. Make sure you know that you're using 4 for the right number, the radius in this case. So my radius is 4. The height of my shape is 12. That's, again, this number right from here to here. That's the height. So I'm then going to put those numbers in the formula. 2 times, again, we're using 3 for pi just to make it easy. 4 times 12 plus 2 times 3 times 4 squared. So I'm filling in my numbers, which I've done. Now I'm going to multiply them out. I'm probably going to do this 4 squared first because I don't want to accidentally mess that up at the end. So 2 times 3 is 6, times 4 is 24, and 24 times 12 is 288, plus 2 times 3 is 6, times 16 is 96. I do that, and I just add those two together, which I'm pretty sure this is 384, and that's my total surface area. And again, if I was asked to do lateral, I would know that that's just that first part, that first number, which was 288. Okay, so now we're coming down here and we've got a cube. Now there is a special way to solve a cube if you're doing total surface area, but again, we're going to solve it using the formula first. So it is a type of prism, so we're writing down pH plus 2b. My base shape is a square. I'm writing down the three things I need to find or solve. The first one I can find really quick. It's the 7 for the height, right there, 7 to 7, or point to point is 7. The perimeter of this square all the way around is 28. The area of it is 49, 7 times 7. Once I'm done with that, I just fill in the work. 28 times 7 plus 2 times 49. 28 times 7 is 196. 2 times 49 is 98. And when I add those together, I get 294. That's my total surface area. If it had said find lateral, well then I just would have had this first part, which was 196. So I found them both. Okay? So hopefully those four you're pretty decent at. I know this one here, this triangular prism, is probably the toughest one. But again, same process all 4 times. I did the same thing. All the steps were followed and I got the correct answers. Okay, now let's look at these last two shapes. The first one, and I messed this up now first, so just ignore that. We're doing this square pyramid here. Well, the pyramid formula is a little bit different. That's why we use our formula chart, so we write down the correct one. 1/2 perimeter times the slant height plus the area 1 time. Again, I write down the three things I need to find. I draw the shape of my base, which it's a 4 by 6 rectangle. So 4 by 6. Okay. The slant height, well, they're either going to tell you or point to it, and that's the easy one. You can just write that down. The perimeter of this shape, 4 plus 6 plus 4 plus 6 again is 20. And then the area of this is 4 times 6, which is 24. So then I work out my formula. 1/2 of 20 times the slant height of 4 plus the area of the base 1 time, because there's only one base. Finding half of this, you can do a lot of different ways. You can do half of 80, which is 40. You can do half of 20, which is 10, times 4, which is 40. You could do half of 4, which is 2, times 20. Either way, you're going to get 40. And then just add that base 1 time. You get your total surface area of 64. But if you look back and it said, oh, you're supposed to find lateral surface area, like the label or just the area going around the top, up to the top, just the triangles, you'd have just found that 40 as your answer. Okay, last one down here. Kind of hard to imagine and actually really hard to draw. It took me a few chances before I actually got it. But again, we're still using the same formula. This is a triangular pyramid. 1/2 PL plus B. Got to find those three things. I'm going to draw my base. My base is down here. It's an 8 by 8 all the way around. Equilateral triangle. It has a height of 7. I'm first going to find this number here. That slant height is right there, so I can write that down. Again, this would be like going from the base of this triangle up this way to the top. So it's like right there, and you got to imagine that triangle is on that back side where you can't see it. The perimeter of this triangle, 8 plus 8 plus 8, 24. Nice and easy. The area of this triangle, got to remember that formula, or just use your formula chart. Base times height, 8 times 7, which is 56, and divide that by 2, and you get an answer of 28. So then we're going to fill in the formula. 1/2 of 24 times 10 plus the base 1 time, because there's only one of them. I'm probably going to do half of 24. That's pretty easy. That's 12. 12 times 10 is 120. Last step is adding that base 1 time. So I get a total surface area of 148. And if I had to find lateral, I just would have used this first part, which gives me an answer of 120. So again, just a quick review of all the different shapes that we have to deal with. Prisms, cubes, triangular prisms, cylinders, and either a square or rectangular pyramid or an equilateral pyramid. Okay, so those are the kind of things you're going to see in your formulas, not in your formulas, on your campus checkpoint. So please be very prepared for those, and good luck on Thursday.